let's face it, budget phones nowadays are becoming really good. I mean, with just 107,000 naira, you can get a phone like the Tecno Spark 20 that has a 50 megapixel main camera and the screen refreshes at 90 Hz. Or you could decide to get the Samsung Galaxy A05 that has about 4 years of software support and also supports up to 25 watts fast charging capacity. Now, the fact is, most times when you're deciding which of these two phones to buy, it's not really an easy decision. Now, I have been able to isolate 7 different specs that separates these two phones, and I'm sure they will be able to help you know what you're getting from one that you're not getting from the other. Now, before we go into all of the nitty-gritty or weaknesses and strengths of these two phones, let's talk about the prices. For 107,000 naira, you get a 4 gig of RAM and 128 gig of internal storage space for the Tecno Spark 20. While for that same 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gig of storage space, for the Samsung Galaxy A05, you have to pay about 115,000 naira. So that means at the end of this video, if you choose to go with the Samsung Galaxy A05, you will be paying extra 7,000 plus. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about some things you're going to see in one phone that you will not find in the other one. Starting with the fingerprint sensor. Tecno Spark 20 actually comes with a side-mounted fingerprint that gives you this additional security when it comes to managing access to your phone. But you don't get that with the Samsung Galaxy A05, which is kind of weird because even though we have the pin pattern and even the face unlock, we all know that the fingerprint verification is the most reliable when it comes to accessing your phone. Something you also be getting with the Tecno Spark 20 that you will not get in the Samsung Galaxy A05 are dual stereo speakers. It comes with dual stereo speakers that produces very good and quality audio. But for the Samsung Galaxy A05, you actually get a single mono speaker. Now, in all honesty, when I tried to test the audio quality from both speakers, I couldn't really see any difference, even in terms of loudness. But the fact is, one of the very useful cases you will need dual speakers is maybe when you're playing game with your phone and then one of your fingers blocks a speaker. You can still hear the sound of the game from the other speaker. So that is number 2 when it comes to the differences between these two phones. Now let's go to the third one, and you're going to see that in the display. Yeah, both phones come with the same IPS LCD display. Both phones have the same 720 pixel resolution and also about the same nits of peak brightness. But what you're going to get more with the Tecno Spark 20 is a 90 Hz refresh rate that is adaptive. Now, what that means is that you can switch between 90 to 60 so that you'll be able to manage the effect of refresh rate on the battery of your phone. But you don't get that with the Samsung Galaxy A05. Firstly, it comes with a 60 Hz, and secondly, it's not adaptable. But the fact is that you get more fluid scrolling and switching between applications right here. You can actually see it when you're using both phones. It's just more faster with the Tecno Spark 20 than with the Samsung Galaxy A05. Now, something else you will notice in the display of these two phones, apart from the refresh rate, is the front camera cutout. For the Tecno Spark 20, it's a circular cutout, which most people are in love with. While for the Samsung Galaxy A05, it's a U shape, which most people despise. But then the Tecno Spark 20 also has the magic ring, which is another very useful feature that you don't get in the Samsung Galaxy A05. But the question is, would you choose to buy a phone because of a magic ring? I still doubt, but hey, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Now, while this may not be a very big factor when it comes to choosing which of these two phones you want to get, something that could actually impact your decision is in terms of software support. And that is where the Samsung Galaxy A05 precedes the Tecno Spark 20. And that's because it supports up to 4 years of Android updates. So that means you're going to be getting Android 14, 15, 16. And in the 4th year, you'll be getting security updates. But for the Tecno Spark 20, we are only sure of getting Android 14 and maybe an extra year of software update. So if you're thinking of using any of these two phones for as long as possible, then the Samsung Galaxy A05 will be a better choice for you. And it is the same with fast charging. Like I said before, the Samsung Galaxy A05 supports up to 25 watt fast charging. So it's going to take you about 1 hour, 20 minutes or thereabout to get this device from 0 to 100%. So you get really fast charging on this phone. But the problem is you don't get a charger for it. So you actually have to look for a way to get the original Samsung charger for you to be able to achieve that feat. Now, the Tecno Spark 20 actually supports up to 18 watts of fast charging. So it takes you about 2 hours plus to get this phone from 0 to 100%. But the good news is that you get that 18 watts in the box. So I think the question you should be asking yourself right now is, would you prefer an 18 watts charging phone that has the 18 watts charger in the box, or would you prefer a faster charging phone of 25 watts, but you have to spend extra money to get that charger? Now, while you're thinking about that question, let's talk about performance. Now, on paper, you won't expect the performance of these two phones to be different, and that's because they have the same MediaTek Helio G85 power in them. So what I did was to actually put these two phones through a use case test for me to know which one does better in some practical situation. Now, the first thing I did was to actually try and compress a 4K footage video that I got from my cameras and sent to these two phones using the CapCut app. And as you can see right now, the Tecno Spark 20 did a faster job when it comes to compressing that file. Now, after editing the video, I also tested which of these two phones will export it faster, still using CapCut. And once again, the Tecno Spark 20 was just slightly faster than the Samsung Galaxy A05. And the third thing I did was to know which of these two phones will keep apps running in the background longer. So what I did was to go to the Geekbench 6 app that I downloaded some days ago when I was still testing the phones to see which one of them is still running that app on the background. And when I tried it out, well, the Samsung Galaxy A05 was the winner. After 2 days, the app was still running on the background. So judging by all of these tests I just carried out, and of course many more that I did that I am not showing in this video, I discovered that when it comes to performance optimization, the Tecno Spark 20 is obviously better, while when it comes to RAM optimization, obviously the Samsung Galaxy A05 is better. Now, would this be useful information when it comes to choosing which phone to buy? Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, before we go ahead to talk about cameras and know which of these two phones have a better camera, I want to say if you're still watching to this moment, why not take out a second or more to just subscribe to the channel, and of course give this video a like so that it gets to more reach. Now let's talk about cameras. These two phones actually have the same 50 megapixel main cameras, but you actually get more with the Samsung Galaxy A05 because it has a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Now, when I compare the pictures taken by the 50 megapixel main cameras of both phones, I really couldn't spot any difference in terms of the quality of the pictures. But when you switch to portrait mode, you will discover that the Samsung Galaxy A05 actually struggles when it comes to HDR processing. But let's not forget we're talking about what you can find in one phone that you don't actually get in the other. Now, the fact is that with the Tecno Spark 20, you actually get 2K at 30 FPS as the maximum video quality you can shoot. That is 1440p. While for the Samsung Galaxy A05, the maximum you get is 1080p at 30 FPS. Okay, so I'm checking out the back cameras of the Tecno Spark 20 and the Galaxy A05. And they both have the same 50 megapixel main cameras along with a 2 megapixel depth sensor and all of that. But what do you think about the quality of the video? Do you see any difference? Because the Tecno Spark 20 actually gives you 2K at 30 FPS, which is what we're shooting at. While all you get with the Samsung Galaxy A05 is 1080p at 30 FPS. Let me know what you think about the... Let me know in the comment section if you see any difference in terms of the video quality and also, of course, the audio quality. So you actually get more quality videos in the Tecno Spark 20 than the Samsung Galaxy A05. And when you switch to the selfie camera, you discover a huge gap between these two phones. For the Samsung Galaxy A05, it's an 8 megapixel sensor, while for the Tecno Spark 20, it's a 32 megapixel sensor. So really, even though the selfies may not look different as you're looking at the two right now, but when it comes to detailing, it's obvious that the Tecno Spark 20 will take more detailed pictures than the Galaxy A05 is. And once again, when it comes to the portrait pictures, the Samsung Galaxy A05 just really struggles when it comes to HDR processing and object separation from the background. Now, another very important functionality you will be getting in the Tecno Spark 20 that we don't have in the Samsung Galaxy A05 is what is called the Pro mode. Now, what the Pro mode does is that it allows you to tweak some settings like ISO, white balance, and other stuff just for you to be able to get the shot the way you want it to be. So content creators, professional videographers, and the rest will find this functionality very, very useful. So even though both phones take almost similar picture quality, the fact is that you get slightly better video quality and camera functionality on this guy right here, the Tecno Spark 20, than the Samsung Galaxy A05. So there you have it, 7 very important differences between these two phones that can really help you decide which of them will be able to suit your need much better. Now, has this video been helpful when it comes to deciding which of these two phones you want to be getting? Let me have your thoughts in the comment section below. But if you're still indecisive and you still want to get more details, where I have a personal review of these two phones and the videos are currently showing in your screen right now, just click on it, and of course, I'll see you over there.